Yes, I got suckered into buying another limited edition controller and also took advantage of some pretty awesome sales from GameStop and Amazon. It's time for yet another pickups focused episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Alright, so yeah, we're back. I know it's another pickups focused episode, so not nearly as exciting as other episodes that can happen in this series, I know. But the game hunting will return soon, don't you worry. We're getting to it. It's just things have been going on that have made it difficult for me to go out and go game hunting, so just bear with me. We're going to get back to it soon, don't worry. And you should especially be looking forward to when episode 150 hits, because if you didn't watch last week's episode, episode 150 is going to be the episode where we do the giveaway. So in that episode, I'm actually going to go game hunting for the channel. We're going to get a bunch of stuff that is going to be given away. I don't know to how many people or how we're going to do it yet. But when we get to it, make sure you watch it, because you could win some cool stuff that I picked up. So, we're going to start off with something I bought on a whim. I'm glad I did because it's awesome, but I mostly bought it out of hype from the Xbox showcase. So, of course, not E3 just happened. We don't have E3 anymore, so instead we have Summer Games Fest and a bunch of like little direct type things. And I watched all of them, and honestly I might do a video on them all in the future, just talking about my overall thoughts. But by far my favorite of all of the presentations that we saw was the Xbox showcase, which was a doubleheader with the Starfield Direct. So Xbox showed off a bunch of new games, and then they also afterwards spent about 45 minutes showing off Starfield. And that Starfield Direct, let's just put it this way. Corey, my roommate, has never played a Bethesda game. After watching that Starfield Direct, he wanted to pre-order the collector's edition. I did too. That Starfield Direct made that game look like one of the most incredible things you've ever seen, and I am beyond excited to play it. It looks absolutely phenomenal. And of course, during that Starfield Direct, they announced something that was leaked, but then released immediately after, and I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. We have the Starfield Limited Edition Xbox Series X controller. Yes, I got it. Here it is. I opened it already on the channel. You've seen this unboxing by now. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love how it looks. The triggers are clear. It feels different than other controllers. It's supposed to feel kind of like a spaceship wheel. It's a great controller. I don't regret it in the slightest, and it's going to be my daily driver for the foreseeable future. Yes, I retired my awesome Forza Horizon one. I have too many awesome controllers now, but I also don't regret it because I love them. They're great. But yeah, new controller. I had to jump on it. It's great. I paid $80, I think, for it. Something like that. Paid $80 for this, and it is worth $80. I'd say it's worth it if you're a big fan. Of course, they also released a headset, which I would like to get at some point. I don't know when I'm going to get it, but it's the goal eventually. So yeah, that happened. Also what happened is a bunch of sales, and I took advantage of both of these sales. One was a buy one, get one free deal on GameStop's website. And then another was a buy two, get one deal on Amazon's. So GameStop's doing a 2 for $20 and a 4 for $40 deal, which is always a treat to take advantage of. But they, beforehand, I think they're still doing it on certain titles, doing a buy one, get one, which is pretty rare. They usually don't do buy one. It's usually buy two, get one. So I had to look and see what games were available, and there were some interesting ones for sure. So I placed an order from GameStop. I ended up getting 2 of them. So I got 4 games total, but got 2 of the games for free. And then I needed a little bit extra to get free shipping, so I bought kind of a garbage game on PS5 just to fill out the order. So we're going to start off with The Outbound Ghost on the Switch. Looks like a really interesting 2.5D like RPG platformer type game. Looks interesting. I'm excited to try it out. I figured it was worth a grab. I paid $35 and it's worth $30, so a little bit of a loss there, but that's okay, especially when you consider everything else that I got. This next game caught me off guard. It looks interesting. I figured it was worth a grab again. I was kind of going for stuff that's a little less common, which is why I grabbed this. Never heard of it before, but I'm always down to add interesting looking Switch games to my collection. So we have Witchspring 3 Refine, the story of something. On the Switch, it looks like a RPG. It's got some morality stuff. It's a JRPG. It looks cool. I figured it was worth a grab. This one I paid $40 for, so I actually paid up for this one. And it's worth $36. So again, a slight loss. But that's okay when you consider the fact that I got these next two games for free. So this next one was kind of a mistake. I didn't know it was multiplayer only, but it does sound cool and it looks interesting. So I figured, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Why not? That sounds cool. It's made by Elphonic. We have Arcade Mageddon on the Xbox Series X. It's a first-person shooter with like a retro 80s style. And you can like run around and shoot enemies in an arcade. It's supposedly co-op. Sounds cool. Figured it's worth a shot. This was a freebie because it was going to get buy one, get one, and it was worth $16. So it's not worth a lot, but hey, it was free. Who cares? And then this last one I actually needed to complete a collection. Because as you know, well, not necessarily as you know, but as a lot of you may suspect, when I collect a series, even if I haven't necessarily played all the games in the series, I feel like I have to have all of them if there's more than one out. So I've only played the first game in this series, but I have the other ones and I didn't have this one, so I figured, you know what, let's get it, especially because it was free. And it's the only one that came sealed. We have the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me, on the Xbox Series X. This is, of course, the fourth Dark Pictures game made by Supermassive, the same team who made The Quarry and Until Dawn. I played Man of Medan. I liked it. I thought it was fine. It's not as good as The Quarry or Until Dawn, but it's fine. It's kind of a shorter, bite-sized game, and I'm sure this one's similar. Paid nothing for this, and it is actually worth $35. So this one actually has some decent value. And then the filler game, and I mostly got this because it was like $6, and that's pretty much what I needed to fill out my order and get free shipping. I'm probably going to use it for bad games. I have the winter version of this, so I'm like, whatever. Might as well get the summer one. We have Summer Sports Games 4K edition on the PS5. Why this game exists on the PS5, I don't know, but it looks bad. I'm sure it is bad. We'll find out how bad it is eventually because I'm going to play it on the PS5. So I paid, I think it was $6. It's actually worth $10, so this one actually has some value for some reason. All right. So now we're going to go to Amazon to wrap up. And again, they had a buy two, get one free deal. And they usually do that to coincide whenever like Target does one. They don't usually sync up with GameStop, but whenever Target does a buy two, get one, Amazon usually also does one to compete. And they had some interesting games. I went for more mid-priced games. I think all of them except for one were in the $30 range. So I spent like $65 total for 3 games, which is pretty good. And I think these are all excellent pickups. So we're going to start off with Killer Frequency on the Xbox Series X. This is a puzzle game, I think, like an action puzzle game, where you play as a radio DJ who has to alert the townspeople of a town that there's a killer on the loose, and you do so by, you know, solving puzzles and going through a bunch of stuff. It's a very 80s themed. Sounds really intriguing. I figured it was worth a grab. I paid $20. So how Amazon does it is they, instead of saying, oh, one game is free, they just lower the price of every game so that you get essentially a free game. So this was $20 instead of 30, and it is worth 30. So there you go. This game just came out too, so it's very new. Now, this game I thought was getting removed from Game Pass. It might just not have yet. But I figured since it was getting removed from Game Pass, it was probably worth a grab. They didn't have the Switch version. I wanted to get the Switch version. But the Xbox version's fine too, especially because I have a bunch of controllers for it. And that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge on the Xbox One. It's a 2D style beat 'em up, styled like the old 1980s TMNT games. But modern. Figured I'd grab it. It was released by Limited Run. This one was a published game, not like a actual Limited Run game. But it's got some cool stuff in it. I'm excited to have it. I think it's a worthwhile grab. Paid $20 for this, and it is actually worth $38. So this one has some pretty good value as well. And then this last one, I mostly grabbed because it is a Limited Run game. It looks interesting. It's not a series I've heard a lot about, but I've heard it's good. And it's another sealed PS5 game to add to my collection, because why not? We have the Rumblefish 2 on the PS5. It's a fighting game series, apparently. This one's been enhanced with widescreen support. It's got a bunch of extra stuff in it. Looks cool. I've heard good things about the Rumblefish, so I figured it was worth grabbing. It's kind of a weird title for a game, but looks cool. Figured it was worth a grab. I paid $25 for this one. This one's slightly more than the others, and it's actually worth $37. So this one has some good value as well. And that's it. We got ourselves a nice stack of games. Plus, we got ourselves a pretty awesome controller. Not the most exciting week, I know, because it was just online pickups, but it was still a fun week, and I got some great additions to my collection, so I can't complain. So anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new around here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell. That way you know when new videos drop. Once again, I know I said this last week, but thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel over the past month or so. We skyrocketed to 1,000 subscribers way quicker than I expected. So be on the lookout for episode 150. That is going to be the special episode, not only because it's episode 150, but also we're going to do the giveaway on that episode, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Bye-bye.